Spotted a dime at the corner of my eye. She got enough man on the line, back just poking like a knife. I think she tryna get my line. Demon with the angel eyes. Maybe I'm hypnotized.
Most people, they see me in my beautiful villa in Bali, Indonesia, right now, where I've been living for the past 2 months at 22 years old, and they think I got lucky. Well, I grew up in the UK, in the middle class, and I can tell you one thing, I did not get lucky. And I'm here to share my story in today's video, and most importantly, aim to inspire you guys, whether you're currently working a job you don't enjoy or you're sick of being stuck in the system, and you're ready to achieve more, but you might not believe in yourself. You might not have people around you believing in myself. I'm here to share my story with you guys to let you know that you can achieve financial freedom, that you can achieve what you want to. Now, I grew up in the middle class UK. I went to a free school in a place called Burgess Hill near the south of England in Brighton. I have two very supportive parents that don't necessarily come from financially well-off backgrounds. My mum works as an admin assistant, used to work as an admin assistant in Brighton University. My dad works for the NHS. And they have mortgages. They're in the traditional system that I assume you were brought up in as well. And so, yeah, I got decent grades at school. I got A's and B's, the equivalent of A's and B's pretty much across the board. And as soon as I finished school, this was basically where I was building my foundations and learning about online business and starting that process. And I went to college for 1 month, studied business, economics, and politics. And the reason I dropped out after 1 month, or roughly around 1.5 months, was because I was sick and tired of learning from people with zero real world results. My economics teacher on the first day of class told us that you're not here to learn how to make money or how to preserve money. You're here to learn about how the economy works. And, I was pretty damn frustrated. My business teacher has never run an online business before. And when I was asking him about online business, or just business from a practical perspective, he'd never run a business before. He couldn't give me answers. The only answers he could give me was from the textbook. So I recognized very fast, regardless of what my father was telling me when I told him I was going to drop out, or my mother, I made that bold decision. My head tutor was trying to persuade me to stay, of course, and he was telling me that if you want to get rich and you're going to get wealthy, if this is your goal, is to go and study finance and get a job in London eventually and use college to get the grades necessary to do that. I can guarantee you I earn far more than all of the teachers, and many of them combined as of right now at 22 years old. So the best decision I ever made was to leave college. I didn't just drop out and do nothing. What I did is I got a job part-time at a bank called Halifax Bank, which some of you will know if you're in the UK. I got a job part-time working 3 days per week. 2 of the days, actually, I was working half a day. And on Mondays, I was working for the full day as I can't remember exactly what I was, like a customer consultant, I think the fancy term they gave me. I was just dealing with day-to-day inquiries from people that walked into branch. And that was a pretty, good experience. Not that I learned a lot from working in Halifax Bank, but what I did learn from having a job was how awful it is and how horrific my life would be if I continued working a job and I continued conforming to what society told me I should. And so what I did is I stacked every single penny I could. I was living at my mum's house at the time in the south of UK. I stacked every penny I could because my brother left university at a very similar time to me leaving college. He studied business management, I believe, at Oxford Brookes University. He also left and was like, this is a load of garbage. He comes back with a degree. He actually started applying for jobs, didn't get any at all. And he ended up getting one at 3G, the phone company. I had one at Halifax Bank. We were stacking cash and we were trying to find a way to make money online. We knew that the system was broken. We just didn't know how to escape, but we were committed to escaping regardless of how long it took or what it took to get there. As long as it was ethical, we were willing to do it. So the first business vehicle we found was after being recommended a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I found this book. It's Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I was recommended this book by one of my best friends. He's still my best friend. His name is Kieran, and he has a father who I looked up to in many ways. He'd achieved financial freedom. He was so-called by my rich dad. And I basically asked him, hey, can I have an hour of your time? I want to learn how you approach finances. I want to learn how you've become financially free, how you're providing for your family yet you don't work. And he kindly invited me to his house, and that was the power of building relationships as a child with people I knew who had money, right? Or certainly have a different approach to money that I personally grew up with. So yeah, he gave me some time. He recommended me Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, which myself and my brother read back to front as quickly as possible. One thing we did, if we received a piece of information from someone who was in the position we wanted to be in, we absorbed it and we actioned it very quickly with zero hesitation. Regardless of what my father or my mother told me or my friends were doing or told me, we did it. And when we read that book, one of the key teachings that we got was that the rich buy assets and the poor buy liabilities. And what that means is that rich people buy things that make them more money, and poor people buy things that make them lose money. So poor people, they get a mortgage, which is a depreciating loan from a loan that is attached with interest. What else do they buy? They buy fancy cars. They buy super expensive meals out when they don't actually have any assets paying them, right? And they essentially associate time with money, and that's how they make money. They make it with their time. And the rich do the complete opposite. So we learned this, and we were grinding on YouTube, as I imagine some of you guys are, grinding on YouTube, finding a business vehicle to pursue. Yeah, we found trading, the financial market, specifically the stock market. At the time, didn't really know anything about crypto. The villa behind me would probably be 10 times bigger if I did know about crypto back then, but is what it is. And we got into the stock market. So we were trading in the stock markets. We were learning. We had a brokerage, had some money stacked up that me and my brother stacked up. We pulled our money together, which was a blessing. And we practiced trading. We didn't ever we made money, but we never, over the period of time that we were trading for, about a year and a half, we didn't come out net positive, but we didn't come out really much net negative. We probably broke even, which is quite rare for someone who's new to trading stocks and trading crypto. Right? A lot of people see it as gambling, and it absolutely can be gambling if you don't do it correctly. But we were sticking to the books, we were studying, and so we did trading. Because we didn't make much profits from it, we needed a cash flow business. Okay, we needed more cash. So we knew that trading was amazing, but it wasn't the right time to go all in trading as the only stream of income that we had. So we were scrolling, we were actually looking on Twitter and YouTube for other different business models. And my brother, he saw a screenshot of a guy on Twitter called Danny. I'm not going to mention his full name or his business, but this guy, Danny, he had posted a screenshot of his Shopify dashboard. Shopify is how we build and grow e-commerce stores. Okay, it's how we host our website, which is what I actively do today. And we saw him. He did $1 million in a month with a men's jewelry brand in the UK. Now, we weren't looking for $1 million a month, but as soon as we saw this, we knew that if someone can make £1 million in a month selling men's jewelry over the internet, over social media, that it would be possible for us to make 5, 10, 20K a month. That's all we wanted, was 5 to 10K per month. So what we decided to do was, basically go all in and slightly switch our focus, adapt our focus, not completely out of trading, but kind of a 50-50 approach. And we started looking on YouTube videos on how to build an e-commerce website, how to build a Shopify store, and how to market products through social media, how to sell products through social media. And we ended up building our first e-commerce store or brand called Undeniable London. This is a men's jewelry brand based in the UK that we still actually currently have today. It's not my main focus anymore. It's not my brother's main focus anymore. It's more of a bit of a cash cow now, but this is down the line. And basically this Undeniable London at the time was a picture copy of this store that was making the $1 million a month. We basically tried to copy it. The only things that were different was the logo, and his store was black and we made ours white at the time. So slightly inverse. And we launched with the same products. We got in touch with a manufacturer in China. We bought stock up front. We invested nearly all of our money into stock. We took a massive risk. We had no idea what we're doing. And I wouldn't necessarily suggest that for a beginner now, but we did it and we pulled it off. And we launched that store in Q4, which is the busiest time for e-commerce business. So I believe it was November the 2nd when we actually launched Undeniable London. And November, we have Black Friday, we have Cyber Monday, and we have the build up to Christmas, and then January sales. So in terms of launching the business, we launched it at a great time with a bit of luck involved, right? If we launched it in February, it might not have worked out the same, but we had a profitable start. From day one. Yeah, we were profitable. We were doing, I think our first month we did about 1.5, 2K. Second month we would have done roughly around 2K. And we kind of built it up on our own with me and my brother up to about 10K per month in sales, which was about 25% profit margin. Now that took us about 6 months to get to that point. So, let's say $3,000 a month in profit. We were reinvesting it into new stock and into better ads, but it was still profit that we had. And at that time, so 6 months after we launched the business, that was when I transitioned completely from trading stocks to I'm going all in on ECom because it's making us money. And I was actually taught by Kieran's father, the person who recommended me Rich Dad Poor Dad, that if you have something that's making you money, continue with it and don't stop it. From a business perspective, from a cash flow business perspective. So I pursued e-commerce full time. My brother, he was still doing trading and e-commerce. And what happened was, we were continually, we paid thousands and thousands and thousands for different mentorships over the time. We hadn't really had any good one. We did a lot of courses, but I went to the gym. It's a bodybuilder's gym local to me called Phoenix Gym. At the time, and someone pulled up in a Rolls Royce. Now, the week before, I had seen him pull up in a bright blue Ferrari. So when I saw him pull up in a Rolls Royce, I introduced myself to him, which was a decision that changed my entire life. Because when I introduced myself to him and I shared how inspirational he was to me, I asked him what he did for a living, and he told me e-commerce. From that moment, got his Instagram. I was asking some questions about e-commerce specifically. And then 1 week after that first interaction with him, I paid him for mentorship. And, this was the last of our money. We paid him for mentorship. His name is Elliot. And that was one of the most pivotal decisions of myself and my brother's life ever. Because that mentorship allowed us to become financially free. It wasn't the reason we became financially free, but it was a huge catalyst and a reason we got there quite quickly. Because 8 months after investing into mentorship with Elliot, we scaled to £100,000 per month in sales at around a 35% net profit margin. So, yeah, significant changes. It was at this stage, it wasn't long after I bought my first bright blue Porsche at 20 years old. I'll overlay a picture of me buying my bright blue Porsche with Elliot. He was there as well with my brother, my team, and my family and my friends came along. It was the best day of my life was when I bought my Miami blue Porsche. And yeah, basically Elliot invited me to his house to film like a podcast kind of interview with him where he asked me a few questions about my experience being mentored by him. He asks me some questions about my experiences in e-commerce. It was mainly for his mentees, so kind of used me as a case study. And I believe he uploaded it to YouTube at the time as well. And then he offered me the opportunity to start a business with him, a women's lingerie brand. I actually had the product idea, to be fair. Gave it to him. He said, let's do it together, which was crazy. We scaled that to about 130K per month in 3 months from launch. It was a US-based store. Went crazy fast growth on that store. That was the drop shipping model. So we didn't buy stock. We actually had a manufacturer ship the stock directly to the customers for us. And then after that, he asked me if I wanted to mentor alongside him. So then I got into the mentorship game, and now we're building our community. And I don't work with Elliot anymore. I'm building our own community with my own team now, with my brother, with some incredible guys that I'm so grateful to have in my life. And it all came from building e-commerce business and then leveraging my success in e-commerce business to open up more opportunities for me. So now my big goals are I want to grow the most valuable e-commerce mentorship on the planet, where anybody can come in, whether they're starting out at zero in e-commerce, whether they're working a 9-to-5 job currently, or for slightly higher level entrepreneurs who want to build an e-commerce business alongside a great team. Of course, we have a higher level advisory as well and community, and that's a huge goal of mine that I'm putting a lot of attention into building. And then I'm building Zaros, so I'm building a new e-commerce brand. It's a luxury leather men's bag brand that I'm specifically building for entrepreneurs, for creators, and for people who want higher standards in life and are ready to achieve more in life. So building Zaros and going through the process of documenting my journey building Zaros as well live on YouTube, and I'm breaking down to my clients and mentees the exact strategies that I'm taking to build it so they can gain insights firsthand from myself. And just having fun in the process. I've got some cash flow dropshipping stores as well that my team primarily manage. My brother now lives with Joel, who is an incredible guy. He was one of my mentees who went from 0 to 150K per month in a matter of like 8 months, 9 months or something crazy. They have a penthouse in London, so they live together, just them two, in a lovely place in southwest London in Battersea. I'm currently in Bali traveling. I've been here for 2 months so far. I've got 1 month left. And yeah, going to do some more traveling. I'm not really sure where in the world I'm going to be taken to next. I'm going to go to the UK to see some family when I'm back from Bali, but I think I'm going to go to China to meet some manufacturers with the team for a month, and then most likely Spain or Dubai. But I've created a life where I have control, where there isn't another man or another woman that can tell me what to do. I'm not bound by the decisions or thoughts of others because I made the decision and I made the commitment. And there was everybody in my life was telling me that I couldn't do this, that this was a crazy thing to do, that it wouldn't work. But regardless of that, I made it work. And it started from a decision. And I want you to know that regardless of where you are right now, if you want to become better, if you want to become financially free, if you want to become a multimillionaire, then there's never been a better time to do so. And it all starts with making a choice. I'm rooting for you. I'm wishing you the best. And if you would like to learn more about our community or our mentorship so you can become financially free, you can visit the link in the description or connect with me on Instagram as well, and we can have a chat further. Go kill it.